Good morning, everybody. Happy Sunday. Hope everybody has had a fantastic weekend.
Yes, happy Sunday, everyone.
Pockets also says hello. I believe Shiloh's still sleeping. She was up pretty late. Pockets and I were up till about 2, hanging out in the game room, watching Stranger Things.
Yeah, I gave in and took my meds at like 1:30, then by like 2 o'clock I was like, okay, I can't lay on the floor anymore. Gotta go to bed, I'm gonna fall asleep here.
It's actually a good thing we don't have beanbags in there. We both would have passed out in the game room.
I'm still gonna be getting.
Wouldn't necessarily be the worst thing.
But it's a little kid beanbag, so.
Pockets is tiny, so it works.
Yeah. Like, I get the little kid pool toys when I go to Family Dollar. The floaties.
Well, it was a good time. It was fun. Hey, Grim, how are you?
Hi,
Happy
Grim.
Sunday. The music's too loud, too quiet, whatever. Let me know. I'll adjust accordingly. I always throw that out there right in the beginning. It's hard to judge from this end.
Somebody makes a joke and says, I want Johnny Cash.
Yeah, I think that's
No,
copywritten.
We're not camping.
I think I don't have the rights to it. I'm not Johnny Lawrence. Just because I have the cassette in the car doesn't mean I own it.
Okay, you know the kid that plays Robbie? He's
Yeah.
in a total, it's on Netflix. He's in, another series now. Like, wow, Cobra Kai did some shit for him.
That's cool, Grim. Grim says he's been listening to some old game soundtracks.
Cool.
Past couple nights, I've been going in the game room, flipping on the black light, and turning on the arcade machine, and playing Galaga while listening to the Gradius 3 soundtrack from Super Nintendo. And it's been absolutely epic. Turn up the music a tad? I could do that.
He can do that.
I could do that.
He can do that. He's cool with it.
Again, some of the tracks, though, might not equalize correctly. So, like, again. Yeah, it's been good. Got myself set up with a little mini bar back there. My daughter helped me paint the door. So it now says, it's a free-to-play Epicade family cave. It's a family room. It's not just mine, but I do spend some time back there. It's because it's awesome. Got myself a little refrigerator back there. It's good.
Yeah, it's actually done up really good. Even the water heater guy, loved it.
We had our hot water heater installed.
And he has
this
Halloween
week.
for a ringtone, so that's why I showed him.
So he apparently had a ringtone.
And
Pockets
he had the Jason.
showed him the game room.
For his notifications, so I'm like, okay, he's got to see our game room. If he likes Jason and he likes Halloween, like, he's got to see our game room. He's like, that's the most awesome little bar. Like, yes, it's our saloon.
So
There's just so much to look at in there, though.
there is lots to look at in there.
It's like a tiny little game museum, but you really have to take your time like you're at the Albany Museum just to look at everything. Like, and to
Yeah,
really
it
admire
is.
it.
The room itself is 8 by 8. I
It's
think
like a jail cell almost.
10 by 8, 8 by 8. I think it's bigger than a jail cell.
It is a little wider.
But obviously, I've got an entertainment center on one end, the chairs on the other wall.
Yeah,
I've got
DVD, VHS player.
a whole
I love it.
shelving unit for my games and the classic consoles that I don't have hooked up. So that takes up some space. But the room itself it's not tiny, but it ain't huge, and it is jam-packed full of things. I mean, there's a 6.5 foot tall Jason mannequin standing behind the entertainment center on one wall.
Yeah, the guy saw that. He's like, "What'd your daughter think of that growing up?" I'm like, "That was behind her whole entire childhood. She's scared of Mickey Mouse." He's like, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah." When she was little, she was scared of anything automated too.
I'm always up for a good playlist, Grim. So, I mean, if you got a good game list you think you want to send over, game playlist. Because a lot of times when I go into the game room, I'll turn on both arcade machines and just, let them play in the background. I'll put music on the big TV, and then I'll, put something on the CRT. Or I'll put a movie on the CRT and the VHS, and I'll play, my Switch or something on the HD TV. And I'll put music on my Bluetooth speaker. I have a little Mandalorian helmet Bluetooth speaker, and it's cool.
They can't see what you're doing with your hand.
Good morning, Lucas. How are you? Yeah, I know. I know they can't see what I'm doing with my hands, honey. Thank you. Happy Sunday to you, Lucas.
Hi, Lucas.
Welcome. That's true. Metal Gear games actually typically have really good music. So do Final Fantasy games. Square has a lot of good soundtracks also. But I do try to complete the entire arcade aesthetic back there. I'll turn on a red light and a black light so things kind of glow a little bit too. Put on some 80s synth music in the background. I'll heat up one of those mini pizzas and grab an energy drink, and I'll just go chill back there for an hour. Jam on Galaga and Rolling Thunder on my arcade machine and stuff. It's just a good time. Ooh, so Lucas is literally on the opposite end of the world. It is 11 p.m. for him, and it is 11 a.m. for me. If I was going to guess, I would say Lucas is near Australia.
Don't go in the water.
If he lives there, I'm sure he knows that.
I know, that's why I am laughing.
But I'm willing to guess that it's somewhere around Australia. If I'm correct, cool. If not, I apologize. It's only because I was curious a while back to see how far, where the furthest point from where I was to where I could go. And the furthest point was slightly off the coast of Australia on a globe. So I'm thinking somewhere around there if he's opposite end of the world. Oh, Southeast Asia. Alright, so still in that sliver. The same sliver where Australia then would be.
That's gotta be so pretty.
Yeah, it really does have to be really pretty there.
That's gotta be so pretty.
I don't remember where I went, but I went on a couple of tours of Asia in VR for lunch. It sounds strange, but they're guided.
Really cool.
They were guided tours and stuff like that, and it is absolutely beautiful there. So that's cool. That's awesome, and welcome to joining us.
There's no war. No more war. Long time. Everything has got to regrow. I'm sorry, I was really into it when we were studying it in school. History was one of my favorite things in school. It's my bad.
For me, it is 11 a.m. And I am in New York State in the United States.
Upstate New York. Upstate, not New York City.
He says it depends on where you're going, but the islands are really, really pretty, really wonderful. So.
I am scared of islands.
I'm not.
What if there is a rogue wave? That is so what I am scared. But of course, you're talking to a person who has watched Poseidon 100 times, where the cruise ship gets hit by a rogue wave and flips upside down.
I got nothing.
Oh, and then there's
I am not afraid of that at all.
Where this couple, they go to some resort, and it's they asked, a big storm was coming in, and they called and asked, do you want to come in?
Well, at least.
And they said no, and so they were basically on a floating house.
Yep. That happens
In the
sometimes.
middle of fucking water.
Good morning, Fuzzy. And
Fuzz.
listen, that sucks. Definitely get a new cup of coffee, but at least you almost swallowed it
What was
and
it?
didn't actually swallow it. He said apparently a fly decided to end its life in his coffee when he wasn't looking, and he almost swallowed it.
You take it light and sweet, don't you? Because they kind of like that.
Yeah, I never have a fly land in my coffee.
That's because you don't put sugar in your coffee.
In my
I do.
No sugar, no creamer. My coffee is just straight up black.
And personally, I like hazelnut creamer. I like to get the dry creamer, but I didn't this week.
I'm a big
because
fan
my
of,
husband
like-
would have slapped me.
It's like coffee.
Don't look at me like that after I say that. You would have. You would have said you wouldn't need it. It's not. Yep. Actually, that's a little like wives' tale. Very, very little wives'
Interesting.
tale. Depending on where you're from.
He put one sugar in there.
That's it? Wow, I've actually lowered my sugar intake since Sabian has lowered his sugar intake. I can't even drink brisk iced tea without watering it down.
If you guys are experiencing buffering, I apologize. I just got a message saying that YouTube is not receiving enough data to maintain smooth streaming. As such, viewers may experience buffering. I have really fast internet, so I'm not really sure what that's all about.
Maybe I should take this off.
No, you should be fine. We have super duper internet. I also am working with an abacus, which is like the world's history's first computer. So,
Hopefully we'll go.
alright, I just wanted to just put that out there in case you guys did. I do apologize, and if it does happen, the stream should go right back up in quality shortly after, because again, internet should be super good. We don't usually have streaming issues. See, now it's back to saying excellent connection. So
Hopefully we'll be, or possibly we'll be going
abacus
out to
is a
light
wonderful
brunch.
tool. I use my abacus daily. And that's what I call this computer, is the abacus. It's right after my bachelor's degree. It's 2014. It's a Dell. I bought it from Walmart. So it's a stock Dell computer from 2014.
Hey, it's worked pretty well.
It has, but it's 8 years
It
old.
was on my tongue. Oh God, I'm so sorry. Bleh. I've gotten my hair caught in the flypaper, and I got long ass hair. That was not fun, because I had just washed my hair, and it was all nice and dry. It was sticky. But yeah, no extra protein, dude. There you go. You don't need to make eggs.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they are very gross, disgusting, and vile creatures. I'm not a big fan of flies, but in the long run, like, even if you did accidentally eat it, like, you would be totally fine. And think of it this way: if it should clean up shortly, because it went right back to excellent connection. If the buffering continues, it should clean up very quickly.
Hoping to get to a brunch.
But if you were like lost in the woods or something, like, it sounds absolutely disgusting, and I would much rather like eat grasshoppers or something, because I heard grasshoppers,
I like
if you roast them,
grasshoppers.
they taste like popcorn. But people like eat maggots. Like, you can't eat rotten meat, but you can eat the maggots off of the rotten
Yep.
meat, and
Be
I
fine.
mean, that's vile, but it's a way to live.
sounds
It's a
vile.
way to survive. So
Bring yourself a thing of Hershey syrup. You'll be fine.
very good to hear. I'm glad, like, her whole head didn't go up. I've caught myself on, not my hair, but my clothes. I've caught myself on fire before.
I've caught my hair on fire several times, so I need a haircut.
Well, now you have extra protein, Fuzzy. A little extra. You get a little taste of
That's
something
what I said.
extra.
Now you don't need to bake eggs.
A little. You said he ate meat for breakfast. Now you get a little taste of something extra.
I'm hoping we can go to a brunch today at Silver Spoon,
Yeah.
which is like a really cool place. It really does have like a huge silver spoon on the wall.
It's a diner.
It's a really nice diner, but you don't pay.
It's really good.
Expensive
They're not
prices.
Jake Moon's, but
Jake
they're
Moon's
really good.
closed.
Yeah, I know.
It was sad. We had our sad moment. Like, wow. Because their lobster fest was way better than, I'm sorry, Red Lobsters. It was more fun.
Jake Moon's is really good. Everything there is really, really, really fresh.
It was.
We used to go there. First time I went there, I was like, well, where did you, now this is really good. Where did you guys pick this up? This meat is really, really tender. And the lady's like, we get all our ingredients from the local farm. She says, we make our own jams, our own jellies, our own bread. Everything there is fresh.
I never thought
They went out of business now, like this past year, because of COVID.
Pear jelly. I never thought I could get through a jar of jelly so fast in my life.
And they weren't close. It takes me about 15 minutes to drive out to the lake where I go fishing, and they're like 5 minutes from the lake. So it is like a 10, 12 minute drive out to Jake Moon's, out on the back roads to get there. But the food is fantastic.
It was worth it.
Awesome, Lucas. Well, good luck. Thank you very much for stopping in, and yeah, we'll see you around. I hope you have a good one. Be safe out there, man.
Yes, please be safe.
Stay healthy. May yours bring you the same, for sure. Nothing like some determination to get you where you want to go. So.
I look like a yellow coon.
You do.
With a head.
Living. For those of you that stopped in last night for Beyond Locust Lake, only they can hear you scream. Locust Lake in Space. I do hope you really enjoyed it. Doughboy is actually writing a sequel to that story. And we've got plans to actually make it a trilogy. And where it's like, where we want it to end. So like all 3 parts are like pre-planned with like an overall arc already in mind. So we're already doing Locust Lake better than Disney is doing Star Wars. I'm very excited. Once Doughboy ended up, saying he was going to write a sequel to that, I was pretty stoked. And next weekend, too, we're going back to Locust Lake again. But not in the future. We're going to the past. It is the Chronicles of Raybob, a Locust Lake story, Part 2, Drawing Bloodlines. Well, I appreciate that, Grim. But also, more than anything, go have a good day. Not a problem, no worries. And, we'll see you soon. I'll see you around. Be safe out there, please. So, and we did the book stream last night as well for Confronting Evil. So, that was a lot of fun. Felt good to actually promote the book and get it out there and let people know that it exists. It actually released about a week and a half ago, and I wasn't really able to do too much promoting because I was dealing with trying to get a new car on the road and then dealing with a hot water heater, which was defective when the guy installed it. So we went to use it that night and it was spraying water all over the place. So the guy had to come back the following day and put in a brand new, another hot water heater. It's just been absolutely crazy. I've actually taken probably about 2 weeks off of writing now, and I need to kind of get back to that. So I'm going to start setting some time aside during the day. And tidbits are fully back now. Starting this coming Tuesday, I have since received a ton of submissions and have had the time to at least write some tidbits for the Tuesday stories. So tidbits are returning. Obviously, most of them are going to be much shorter than, Saturday stories and stuff like that. But you will go ahead and get your Tuesday and Thursday videos once again. So that tidbit drought is officially over starting Tuesday. Yeah, there was a lot of inspiration that went into that story. And I really didn't hide it really well, and I wasn't trying to. I wanted people to see that I pulled inspiration from Star Wars, Star Trek, Aliens, Event Horizon, Jason X, Jason Takes Manhattan. I mean, there was a lot. The Ring. There was a lot of references in there. And most of them were, you know, not all, but most of them were like sci-fi space age references. And the reason why I wasn't a whole, like, you know, on board when I first wrote that story is I honestly felt that for a space story, there wasn't enough space in it. There were no ray guns, there were no lightsabers, there were no... It seemed very much like a Locust Lake story, I guess. But I didn't realize that at first. All I saw was it's not very spacey. It just takes place in space. And then I went back and read it like 3 years later, and I was like, oh my god, I love this. Because it felt like what Jason X should have been. Where they made it like colorful and campy and funny, and Kane Hodder played Jason, which was cool. So at least like we got like actual Jason. It wasn't like somebody that you could tell was not somebody who played Jason before. So we got like, you know, real Jason in the movie, which I think really helped. But the movie, I know, like I read the original script and stuff like that. The movie was supposed to be a lot darker. It was supposed to be more like the Paramount movies, like Friday the 13th Part 7 and Friday the 13th Part 8. It was supposed to be dark, but set in space. It very much was supposed to feel like a Friday the 13th movie set in space. And that was originally what I was going for with the Locust Lake in space story. It was originally thought up because I didn't know how or if I would ever bring the Locust Lake curse back. But I knew Doughboy had finally written the ending to the series, and I didn't want Locust Lake to be gone forever. And that was kind of like what I felt Friday the 13th did right. That's why I like Jason X so much. It's that no matter what you do now to Jason goes to hell, Freddy versus it doesn't matter. He obviously comes back at some point and lives way, way into the future and goes to another planet and still isn't dead. And it's just, and that's where they end the series, where Jason never really died. And can continue on, and you can make up all your fan movies and everything that take place in between, all that stuff. I like it. It's just a great bookend. It's a, like, you know, you have your origin story, which obviously sits at the front of your series, and then to have that capstone at the end, I don't know. I liked that. And that's why I don't think they should ever actually go back and mess with the original Friday the 13th series. I honestly think with that movie, and then the remake, which is not bad, it's not great, but it's not bad, and then you have the Crystal Lake Memoirs DVD. It's like a 6-hour retrospective on all 12 movies. And you put that together, and it's 13 movies. It's perfect. Leave the series alone. Which is why I like that Victor Miller won the rights to the script, and Sean Cunningham kept the rights to the sequels. Because now they can't make another Friday the 13th movie. And I know that sounds really strange coming from me, that, you know, I don't want another Jason movie. But I've seen what's happened to a lot of other franchises with their remakes and their reboots, and what they've done to characters in Star Wars, like original characters. It makes me very nervous about any legacy content that I used to enjoy getting remade for this new modern era. And I'm glad that there won't be any more Friday the 13th. That, and one of my biggest fears, is that eventually I will die. And my one regret is something that I won't actually be able to help. I won't be able to see all the Friday the 13th movies, because if I die and they make another one, I'll never be able to see it. But now that they can't make another Friday the 13th movie, now I don't have that worry anymore. So I'm actually pretty happy about that. Leave the Jason movies where they are. But yeah, anyways, the Locust Lake in Space story, I just felt like when I read it through to translate it, and again, I'm not saying like I'm perfect or, you know, like I'm such a great writer or anything, but it just felt very much closer to what like Jason X should have been. Darker, like still felt like a freaking Jason movie, just set in space, instead of just being all about space. That's what that story came across like. It didn't feel like something completely different. It felt like a Locust Lake. All the monsters were the same. The only one I made any change to was the Lady of the Water, and that wasn't like I didn't make her a cyborg. But yes, Evil got an upgrade. Haha. But I just feel like that story was much closer to like what Jason X should have been. It felt like a Locust Lake set in space, not a space story trying to parody a Locust Lake. And again, and then that's why I decided, listen, I'm not going to rewrite it. I'm not going to go back and change it and make it more spacey. I like it the way it is. And there was a lot of story in there. There was a lot of dialogue and talking between characters, and it did increase the length of the story a bit. And I could have went back and reduced that some. But again, I'm kind of glad I didn't. I feel a lot of the times the slasher stories that I write, maybe they don't, but they have a tendency to possibly, they could very easily trickle into a position where you're not really getting a story. It's just a bloodbath. It's just a senseless, because it's a slasher story. And the whole point of writing is I want to tell a story. So, kind of glad I left that in there. But there wasn't as like slasher type, wasn't like, tons and tons of kills and stuff like that. There was a lot of story in there. But I'm glad that doesn't sound weird, and I'm glad that you understand what I'm saying. Like, it just felt like a Locust Lake set in space. It didn't feel out of place. My one fear was that poster that I made for it had Casper holding a lightsaber, and everyone was going to expect there to be a lightsaber in the story. And there wasn't. There was no lightsabers in the story. There wasn't even a ray gun. And I just kind of felt like I might have false advertised, which did make me very happy that at the very least I was able to use my lightsaber as a prop in the intro. So I can say that there at least was a lightsaber in the video. Maybe not the story, but in the video there was a lightsaber. So, I am really glad that you were able to stop in and see it. Those of you that did. It was a really fun story to write and to read. And that's kind of how I would describe that story. The Locust Lake in Space story is fun. And yes, there will be a trilogy. So expect another one. I don't know when. It'll be well after October if it happens. Because I'm literally scheduled right through October 1st. Which is when the Confronting Evil Season 2 will be premiering. Will be October 1st. There's no lightsabers or ray guns in the Chronicles of Ray Bob. In fact, the Chronicles of Ray Bob was a bit tricky for me because I really wanted to do a story, and I felt like there was a Ray Bob story between the two Locust Lake series, The Legends of Locust Lake and The Legacy of Locust Lake. But I knew also in that point in time there was no Locust Lake monsters, because during that point in time the Locust Lake curse was over. It was dormant. So I had to write a story about Ray Bob that was at least a thriller, maybe a little leaning towards the horror end, but without supernatural monsters at Locust Lake. So again, I'm really liking where the series is going. Obviously, I know where it goes because I wrote all 4 parts, but I've only released part 1 so far, so I will say I like where it's going. I really do like, though, how it came out, and I absolutely love the ending because it completely bridges the 2 different Locust Lake stories. These 4 stories are going to fit perfectly right in the center on that playlist. Hello. Would you be inclined to sit in this chair and talk while I go hit the little sociopath's room?
What were you talking just about?
We were talking about the Chronicles of Raybon.
Oh shit. Well, you should have looked on that one. Okay.
Well, do your best, and I'll be right back.
Okay, he left me in charge. And I can't really speak of the Chronicles of Raybon. Right now I'm watching Lucifer on Netflix. Good show. If you haven't seen it, watch it. New Cobra Kai comes out. It's September. Really excited about that. I cannot wait. At least we don't have to wait till December. So yeah, hoping to.
Cobra Kai September.
Yeah, Cobra Kai September.
So anyways, if you wanted to... Shiloh played Shiloh in the first Chronicles of Raybon.
Yeah.
It was the very first time that my daughter, Shiloh, which is where the character Shiloh came from, is modeled after my daughter. It was actually the first time she was basically able to play herself. So that was a pretty monumental moment for me anyway, because the Shiloh character was created literally when Shiloh was a baby, because the very first story with Shiloh in it, Shiloh was a baby. So that is why Doughboy wrote it like that. So the Shiloh character was created then, and it has literally been 12 years. 12 and a half years. And she's finally playing herself. They grow up so fast. They become horror icons so fast. Well, as long as you didn't take the black one out of the game room.
No, I didn't. But now
That one I
all my
stole
lighters.
when I was lighting off fireworks. I stole it fair and square.
You still have from Shawnee then.
No, Shawnee had somebody send their lighter down. We had Corey go up and grab lighters, and somebody
Oh,
gave
it was
Corey
Joanne.
then it's Joanne's lighters, but it's in my game room now. I stole that one fair and square. But I do think you guys are going to like the second part of the Chronicles of Raybon. I know the first one left off on a bit of a cliffhanger. Not gonna lie, the second one might too. In fact, it might be all cliffhangers. Even the end part could be a cliffhanger if there was no story that came after. No problems, Fuzzy Man. Do what you gotta do. And I appreciate you tuning in. I really do. I know I just basically sit over here and ramble and play, random synth music, horror synth, 80s synth, all that stuff. I appreciate it. I appreciate you hanging out with me. It is fun doing these streams. It's fun, waking up, looking forward to doing it, setting up the, thumbnails and stuff like that. It's a good time. So, Pocket stole all the lighters, and I am in need of one. Hold on one second. My wife just told me to sit my ass down. We're married, if you could not tell.
Here's this light blue one. This is your friend.
Love you too, honey.
Oh, yeah. That stays at the desk. Okay. You want to do something fun? Dig underneath of the couch.
Listen,
For lighters.
You will be my leak guy when there is leaks actually available. We'll get closer to that point.
What? I'm sorry. I just went, oh. I lay down.
We're definitely going to get closer to that point. Also, on a side note, I said that the Confronting Evil series would be ending in June. that the book would likely release in July, and then in August we were going to do a The Road So Far live stream, where Doughboy and I would be, live together, and then Somber and Mary would be joining us as Seth and Mackenzie, and Blades will be joining us as Red Eye, the villain of Season 1. I really do hope you guys are able to attend that. You won't be able to ask questions about Mackenzie and about Red Eye and what happens next. Everybody that does know everything has been basically forced into silence. And those things will not be leaked. So just wanted to give a heads up about that. There are a few things that I am planning for the future that I might allow to be leaked at some point, but when I do, we'll see how that goes and how that plays out, Mr. Blades. But the Road So Far stream is supposed to be, a lot of them we're going to go over every episode, how we did it. Like the first episode was The Devil's Drink, and it was about the Devil's Punch Bowl. So we'll go into a little bit about how the Devil's Punch Bowl story came to be, and what that's about, and where it is, and what the legend is, and what it was like to, write that story and write the opening to the series. And then Doughboy wrote part 2, and Doughboy wrote part 3, so he'll probably talk about those two, and then so on and so forth. And we'll just talk about each episode of the series so far, so that way, not in September, but October 1st, so literally right after September, Confronting Evil Season 2 comes out, and you will be all refreshed and caught back up. And honestly, I don't know, might do this maybe after. I wanted to space it out good, but I wouldn't mind having this a little bit closer to the stream, like maybe mid-September, a little bit closer to the premiere. That way it's fresh in everyone's mind. So it might come in August, it might come in September. We'll see. I didn't want to leave you guys in too much of a drought without Confronting Evil, but, we're finishing up the Capes series. We've started the Chronicles of Raybob, and I've released Locust Lake in Space. So, summer's been pretty jam-packed so far. Honestly, Blade, see, that is a fake leak that is entirely plausible, which is fantastic. In fact, it's so plausible that it may only be fake for the moment. Because I could honestly see, the Chupacabra being in Confronting Evil at some point. I mean, we've already done werewolves, we've already done vampires, the Nuka-Lavi. We've done a lot of things so far, just in the first 10 episodes. The Goat Man of Popelik Creek, so the Bunny Man of Clifton. Lots of things I want to do. I actually have some pretty big plans for Season 2, and I really don't want to give anything away. It's really, really hard to sit on this information sometimes. Like before I came out with Confronting Evil, we had already had a bunch of stories written. We had been planning it for a long time. It was actually the spring before the summer of Locust Lake. So before we released all the last 9 episodes of Locust Lake and ended the Locust Lake series, we had already had Confronting Evil completely planned and half written. So for 9 months, I knew where the Locust Lakes were going. I knew how they were going to end, and I knew that they were going to have a supernatural type spin-off show towards them. Or spin-off show in regard to the Locust Lake with Shiloh's children, and I wanted to talk about it so badly, but so it's hard to sit on this information sometimes. I don't know why I do this to myself. We offer sponsorships now, apparently. All I can say is that last October, there was the release of Confronting Evil in the beginning of October. Then I transcribed Halloween horrors for Creepypasta Day. Then the 13 Days of Halloween opened up with a collaboration with Mr. Creepypasta, and Halloween night we went back to Locust Lake for a journal entry, which was a Halloween themed Locust Lake story. I really jam-packed October last year, and I told you that this year was going to be just as epic, if not more. And I promise you, I'm making good on that. This October is going to be absolutely fantastic. I've got a lot of stuff planned. Sometimes I feel a lot like Jack Skellington, because I'm like sitting around all year long planning on what to do for Halloween. It's like it's April and I'm thinking, literally, I'm writing Halloween stories and thinking about stories to write for the 13 Days of Halloween and stuff.
Well, at least you're not planning on being Santa Claus and trying to fly eastward, like, through the air.
No, I'm actually planning on being Santa Claus usually at about October.
That was funny.
October is when I start getting into my Christmas spirit, because I have to remember I upload 3 weeks ahead of time. So then I have to write these stories and stuff before I release them. So I'm planning Christmas, September, October, I'm working on Christmas. And then by Christmas time, I'm working on Halloween again. It's kind of crazy how my brain is forced to work as an author and doing creative content, because I'm literally always out of season. But that's fine, because I honestly live like every day of my life in Halloween anyway. Not today, but usually I'm wearing a shirt that's Chucky, Jason, Michael Myers, something. In every single October, it hasn't failed yet in over 2 decades, and I'm not lying. At least once, and it's usually more than once, but at least once every October I'll go to the store, grocery store, gas station, whatever. I'll go out in public and go to a store. And somebody looks at me and goes, "Wow, don't you look festive? You look like you're all ready to go for Halloween." And I literally have to tell these people, no, this is my regular weekend clothes. It's just, this is the only time of year that I fit in. But it does. Happens every year. And thank you, Blades, for approving of the plans. Blades does know a lot of what's going on. Not everything. There are some things that Doughboy and I are keeping amongst ourselves. But he does know an awful lot. And he's going to actually be privy to one of these things, which is not Confronting Evil related, but I have to color code another story. I know you and a few other people owe me some. Oh, you did send me lines, but a few other people still have to. But you're getting more lines today that I need by next weekend. So I just got to color code them. So, yeah, that's going to happen. And no, it's not a Confronting Evil story. You'll like it, though. I can't say any more than that. And again, I wish I could. But I can't. Good stuff, though. Hope you guys don't mind this time jumping, like Locust Lake in the future, Locust Lake in the past, Locust Lake with no monsters and completely healed the way it is right now. The playlist will have everything in chronological order. So if the Locust Lake story comes out and you're not exactly sure where it falls in the timeline, just check the playlist and all the stories there are in order chronologically. So it starts with the origin story, the Lady of the Water, the Lady of the Water, the origins of Locust Lake, and then the series ends with Beyond Locust Lake, only they can hear you scream, which is, again, just, it's kind of cool having that capstone on there. So, pretty happy about that. We'll probably be ending the stream in about 15 minutes or so. So if you guys have anything you want to toss in there, you do have a few more to do that. I just wanted to throw that out there. Could end 5 minutes earlier than that or something like that, depending, because I do, want to start getting ready. My wife is really looking forward to going to brunch, and happy wife, happy life. Oh, want to go to lunch? Brunch. The brunchness. Yes, and we have to do errands. But I do try to make good plans. I try to not hype things, Blades, without delivering on said hype. Hope people also kind of know that about me too. I'm glad I'm a good husband as well. See? Happy wife, happy life. No. I do try. Plans are always good. She does. It's her cat eyes.
It's not my fault we turned green. It's not my fault.
Cat eyes. Pockets has. She puts on eyeliner. She looks like she goes evil. Very pretty though. Very, very pretty evil. Whatever works. Well, it's always good to succeed at something, Blades.
For negotiating, it's actually really good.
Alrighty. But yeah, I think I'm about out of things to talk about. Surprisingly, because I got the gift of gab. I could just go on forever. Yeah, got the car back, which is good.
Which wasn't the brakes.
Nope, ball joint. So we do have the car back, which is awesome. I know. Yeah, but usually you hear it and stuff. I probably had a while. I didn't hear the ball joint clicking and knocking and stuff like that. No, actually, I stepped on the brakes and I heard grinding. I thought it was probably just cold, and I was hearing the brake pads against the rotors, and it was just being a nervous Nelly.
Better to be nervous than have something happen.
I agree.
But I gotta get used to them leather seats, man. Put a towel down or something.
Yeah, leather seats get warm.
Cause I gotta. No, literally, guys. I have to bring my knees over my head just to sit down for a couple minutes to let the car seat cool down.
It is a very nice riding vehicle, I'll say that.
I like my son.
Hi, chat. I have tape on my
Well,
chat.
the Shiloh,
I have tape on my shirt.
the Shiloh has joined us for the last few minutes of the stream. We're only going to keep it going for another 10 minutes, so.
I'm gonna keep
Hi.
it.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's not morning.
It's not. No, it's not. Well, it's 11:49, so technically it's still morning.
So it's not
Yeah.
2 p.m. Yes, I'm soggy. I just took a shower because I was covered in paint. Dad!
What? Oh my goodness, Dad.
Yeah, actually, it was pretty. I don't know what she did, but I can't yell for what she did.
Proud because this is a sky. Never seen a sky. Don't look at the sides of my Switch, I have to clean it.
Yeah, notice the connection.
I can't tell if you're concerned
Why would you do this?
I covered these bits in tape, so they wouldn't.
But the vents,
The vents are.
they're not. You can't. Latex is water-based. Acrylic is oil-based. You need thinner.
Or I can clean it out.
It's not all her vents. She should be alright, but it's definitely going to be prone to overheating now a little bit more than usual.
She's on it all the time.
Because she's got like the sides. She painted the back of her Switch.
She's being creative.
I have not played Layers of Fear. I've heard of it though. Maybe I'll have to check that out. I know you guys like to watch me scream like a little girl. Pockets is worried about me having a heart attack, but you guys are entertained. It's fine. Don't worry, I'll be fine. I'll suck it up. Hello, child. Painted your Switch.
Dude, the vents were covered. The vents were clean.
I know, but you got it on the sides.
I did.
But I saw paint on the sides and a couple of the holes were clogged. Can't wash it off.
Okay, then how come when I dabbed it with water, almost the entire paint film came off?
That's weird because it shouldn't. Because
But
it's
it did.
now that it's dry, it won't. It's acrylic. Latex does that. You can wash the latex off. You can't wash off acrylic.
I can try, and if not, I'll use
Yeah, you'll get
alcohol.
no, don't. Just leave it alone for right now. Because you'll get water or alcohol inside the Switch. And you don't want that. That's worse.
I'll have it upside down.
No. It's a bad idea.
Did it at least look cool?
Yeah, it looks very cool.
Thank you.
I know, but you shouldn't have painted your Switch.
I did.
So. Huh. Yeah, I'll check it out. Like I said, I've heard of it, Blades, but haven't played it. I'm alright. Like, I'm cool with survival horror, like in like a desktop mode. VR, it's a little terrifying. I did download a game called Dread Halls. It's supposed to be like FNAF, only even scarier. I downloaded it, I don't know, like 4 months ago, and I still have not played it. I'm actually waiting at this point for Halloween, because I'll probably just live stream it. And live stream my very first playthrough of Dread Halls. I think it's Dread Halls. I'll have to look it up. That might not be the name of it. I think that's a different game. It's basically you work at a hotel overnight, and the hotel has animatronics that wander around and stuff like that. It's literally a FNAF clone, but it's supposed to be even scarier. So I don't know. I'm kind of terrified of it, but yeah, I will. I will stream my very first playthrough and very first reaction. And then I might try playing Resident Evil 4 on normal at some point too. And stream with some of that. So I did finally play through it on easy. That was a lot of fun in VR. I gotta say. That was a lot of fun in VR. But did I play it in normal and not play it in hard? It was one of those things. I'm playing it on the next difficulty. But yeah, Resident Evil 4 in VR was amazing. And it was actually my first Resident Evil game that I've played through. And it was a virtual reality experience. So that was awesome. Alrighty, I think it is time to close down the stream. It is. Absolutely love you guys. Thanks so much for hanging out with me this morning. Please enjoy your day. Go get some more coffee if you need it. Be safe out there, and I do hope to see you this Saturday for the Chronicles of Ray Bob, a Locust Lake story Part 2, Drawing Bloodlines. Have a good one, and peace out.
Bye guys. Stay comfy.
TTFN. Papa.